A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. I am queer Muslimah.
The fact that I am Muslim is no secret to anyone who sees me on the street or in the halls of Congress. I understand that sometimes people are surprised that I speak at all, or that I speak without an accent, or that I speak publicly. And that's where I find it to be an opportunity to dispel stereotypes by simply doing what I love doing.
I grew up in a Muslim community, majority of Jordan being Muslim. A lot of my friends were Muslim. We grew up in a school that taught both Christianity and Muslim religion. So I grew up in that community. I moved to the US and came out of the closet as gay, and I do identify as a gay man. There's the assumption that if you're Arab, you're Muslim. If you're Muslim, you can't be gay, and you can't live that freedom, and then you can't explore that life. But I'm not Muslim. I am Arab, but just because I don't identify as Muslim or I don't practice Muslim religion, there's usually that kind of connection that goes on there, and it's inevitable that you have to deal with it.
It's interesting having an ethnicity that's not exactly defined, but at the same time knowing that you're Arab, and there's all these different ridiculous stereotypes that are placed on being Arabic. Like, I'm suddenly a terrorist, I'm suddenly like a part of a terrorist group. And so for the most part, I end up just like playing it off and joking and saying, well, yeah, that's because I'm the bomb. But
You have to have a ban on people coming in from Syria, coming in from different parts of the world with this philosophy that is so hateful and so horrible.
But sir, let me interrupt you on that one right there. How would the ban have made a difference here? This man was a United States citizen. He was born in New York. He lived in Florida.
No, that's right. But we have many people coming in whose hate is equal to his and just as bad and even worse.
I woke up on Sunday morning to the news at 6 a.m. And was in
And when
shock.
I woke up the next morning, I opened my laptop and there was it had blown up because the whole Orlando shooting had gone down, and I was like, holy fuck.
I was taking the train to work. I commute to Palo Alto, and that's when I heard.
Here I am at a family reunion in my room going through my news feed, and I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know if it's just intuition or something, but I was expecting to hear a Muslim's name for some reason.
I held my breath and my blood pressure just shot up, just praying,
God,
okay, please don't be a Muslim name. Please don't be a Muslim name. But unfortunately it was.
I found out that Jason was one of the victims on the Monday following the incident. I logged on to Facebook via my phone, and another mutual friend of ours had posted a picture of Jason, and I was kind of numbed initially just because I couldn't really wrap my mind around the fact that this kid who I've known since he was running around in elementary school is no longer here.
What was your reaction when you found out that the shooter was a Muslim?
That really didn't faze me. It was just like somebody else with a gun just killing people, and actually doing it in a gay bar, which of course I like to go to gay bars, so it was kind of scary.
Anytime there's any kind of massive shooting in America, I instantly think it's an extremist Christian white guy, like, white supremacist, what was it, like the Oklahoma bombing, I assume like Unabomber style, that's what I first assume. But whenever I hear that it's an Arab, it's like, ugh, come on, man, what the hell?
We had to struggle with some difficult questions in the hours that followed. Should we organize public statements to condemn these attacks? Our record of condemnation of violence is clear, it's long-standing, it's undisputed, but there is at times, necessity and expectation that Muslims will continue to condemn these attacks when they happen if they are perpetrated by other Muslims. We sometimes worry that this is a unique burden borne by minority communities, one that, if unfulfilled, can justify anti-Muslim violence by some or in their perspectives, but if fulfilled, further connects us to crimes of people that we don't know that we're not associated with, that were acting for their own deranged reasons. We chose to move quickly to hold a press conference in Orlando to make very clear for those who may not know that Muslims condemn all violence against anyone and that there is no religious justification for what happened at the Orlando nightclub or any other justification even, really.
In this specific case, why do you think Omar Mateen did what he did?
I think because he was gay, truthfully.
He saw a guy kissing another guy, and that lit a fire inside of him. It did something to him. And he had been married twice. He was trying to go down the right path. And eventually he burst. He burst. And you know, I can say from personal experience, when you're going through that struggle inside of, okay, my faith is a really big deal to me, but I also have really strong feelings for the same sex. I have really strong homosexual feelings as well. It's really tough. You're having this horrible conflict inside, the clash of the two most important things to me, my religion and as a gay woman, those two things are the most important to me. And when I started doing research on, okay, how do I fix myself? I would look stuff up online. I'd go talk to an imam. I went to multiple therapists trying to find a way to fix myself. And clearly there's no way to fix yourself because you're not broken. And I finally accepted that.
Has it changed your personal view? Has this incident changed your personal view of Islam or Muslims?
Not at all. I have tons of friends who are followers of Islam, and it doesn't change my view at all. I mean, there's always bad apples in the bunch, you know what I mean? There are always people who take their spiritual or religious beliefs and act out. Hell, slavery was justified by the Bible, so.
One of the things that really touched me at this vigil was that they read out loud the names of all of the victims of the Orlando shooting. Not a particularly unique activity for a vigil. This happens at all types of vigils. But the last name they read on their list was that of the shooter himself. They included him among the victims. I don't have any connection to the shooter. I don't know the shooter. But I do know that many in the Muslim community struggled with the question of whether or not he's even Muslim. Does he get his burial rights? How do we condemn his actions without losing our humanity in the process?
What we should do every day is just include each other and speak to one another, talk to one another, and just get together. It's easy. It's easy if you actually just do it.
Donald Trump's not the answer, so we're just going to go down that road. But I would say that that's the fear-mongering that creates this kind of situation. I think it's the understanding that makes it better.
Sometimes I just feel like I'm like a crazy person myself because of how the media has portrayed us. It's almost like the media will convince you that you are like whatever, a terrorist, or you are like a bad person.
I started to find peace within my own heart and between my Rabb, my Lord, my Creator. I couldn't find that anywhere. I couldn't find that anywhere. There's a saying in Urdu, "Hum kahin ki bhi nahi rahe," which means I belong nowhere. I face discrimination in the mosque anytime I speak up a little bit about homosexuals. In the LGBT community, I face Islamophobia. At work, I go to get a patient from the waiting area. As soon as I walk in, everybody's eyes are on me. Oh, who's this woman in that scarf? They scan me from head to toe, like, does she speak English? She can be able to understand the patient? All these questions going through their head, which sometimes they actually have the guts to spit out, like, no, where are you really from? You know? So I face this everywhere I go, but the thing that gives me comfort, the thing that helps me find that balance, the thing that helps me center myself is my connection with God. And I turn to Him 5 times a day, pausing all my matters, all my affairs, and taking a moment to breathe, reflect, and seek guidance from Him, because I know ultimately that He knows that I'm trying my best.
And what was your thought process about the scarf?
I mean, in kind of the wake of Orlando, one of the big things that like was most important to me, like right from the start, especially when it came out about the shooter being Muslim, and just the state of the nation, was that like this is going to be a divisive point for the community, which it's kind of terrifying to think that that could happen. I mean, anyone who's Muslim and LGBT identified basically doesn't get to exist or be validated. So it was super important for me from the start to really be showing solidarity. I think that I definitely felt the same apprehension with Laith about wearing the scarves. That was kind of going through my mind as well, because, you know, there were going to be a lot of hurt people in that audience. And it only takes like one little spark to trigger some, you know, incident of anger. And even within LGBT communities, that's acceptable because people are reeling, they're in pain. So I think that that fear was there, but it was just seemed more important to show up in something that we cared about and support the people that we care about.
Right.
Cisco, it's always cold here, so you need a scarf. And I was like, okay, well, I instinctively just reached for the scarf, not thinking, and then I had to stop. I had to think, like, how is this gonna create some sort of situation? Is this insensitive? Why am I thinking that this could be insensitive? So it started to like kind of spiral into this idea of should I, shouldn't I? And then I didn't say anything at first, and I think Aris kind of felt a little bit of that apprehension. So I asked him, and I was like, well, do you think we should? I don't know if I should. And he supported me. He was like, we should, and I'm going to wear one with you, and we're going to be there together, and we need to show everyone that you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are, and you shouldn't let actions that are tragic in the world separate identities and separate communities that are of minority.